Hi, Take the Leap listeners. Thanks for putting Ashlan and I in your ears again today. Before we jump into this episode, we wanted to let you know that we've created a fun freebie just for you. If you've been thinking about launching your side gig or small business, we've got a free video training just for that called 9 Steps to Launch Your Business. You can sign up for that video now at www.taketheleap-today.com/webinar to get instant access. You'll also receive 2 free modules from our signature Take the Leap course. Thanks, and now back to the episode.
Take the Leap is the podcast where we get real about the roller coaster that is entrepreneurship and life. Sure, some folks make running a business look like a walk in the park, but let's be honest, it's more like a wild ride through a theme park with a lot of unexpected twists and turns.
Join us, your co-hosts, Ashlan
and Tori,
as we spill the beans on our own real-life experiences and shine a spotlight on some amazing guests. From the highs of success stories to the lows of epic failures. And hey, we'll even throw in some cringe-worthy, laugh-out-loud, embarrassing moments for good measure.
So buckle up and tune in every Tuesday and Thursday for a dose of raw, unfiltered truth about what it's really like to chase your dreams and build a business.
Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just dipping your toes into the startup world, we've got something for everyone. Even if it's just to make you think, wow, I'm glad I didn't do what they did.
So, hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Take the Leap podcast. We are so excited to have our guest and friend, Veronica Yanhs. Veronica lives her life unapologetically laid bare. From the spreadsheets to the bed sheets, she brings her whole self to business. Entrepreneur, kinkster, feminist, foodie, and lover of puns. At Stanford University, she created her own major combining human-centered design and management science, a blend that reflects her lifelong obsession, understanding how people actually work, and designing systems that support them. The mix of art and science, deeply understanding how people work and building systems that get them off the hamster wheel, launched her career in operations consulting, including work with companies like Apple and Nike. Now, as the creator of the Orgasmic Operations Method and the founder of the consulting firm Business Laid Bare, Veronica helps mission-driven businesses, startups, and nonprofits with small teams build operations they can't wait to use. Through her signature people-first and pleasure-filled approach, she inspires love affairs with systems built for humans, not robots. Systems that prioritize sustainability over burnout and pleasure over pressure. So impact can ripple further and deeper into the world she and her clients actually want to live in. Veronica, we are so fucking excited to have you on this podcast episode. We have been looking forward to this all week, and we've already talked about sucking dick before we even started. So, here we are. Welcome.
Okay, so my face, as I don't know if you can see it, it's like turning red because I had no idea you were going to read the long.
The long version. Yeah.
Like, listeners, I have like a media kit when people are like, "Oh, can I have your headshot?" Like, I have the whole thing. It's a link that then redirects to Notion. Super super easy. You should have one too. And like, usually people read the short one, if even that.
I love the long one.
Basically, really?
I was like, very you.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it is so you.
Beautifully written.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I want to get people off the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be a great episode, and I have nowhere to be, so I'm in no hurry. So let's buckle in. I'm just going to kick this off with the same question we always ask everybody, and that's, what is your take the leap story? Meaning, what made you want to take the leap and start your own business and kind of go off on your own on this venture?
Yeah, so I was doing really great being a consultant, like you said, seriously, I can't believe you read that bio. So like after I graduated from college, I was like, okay, instead of going back for a master's degree and all that stuff, like the things other people do, I was like, maybe I should actually put my degree to use, because I actually created my own major and using it, and I still use it to this day. So it's not just some like frivolous or nebulous thing. It's like, okay, how can I actually put my money where my mouth is, or actually take action? And so consulting with large and small firms and all that stuff, like Apple and Nike were just like really fun to work with, because yes, they're this giant creative organization, but like innovation gets me so hot. Like I love innovation, and innovation doesn't necessarily mean like you have to, reinvent like the latest thing and be sent off into space or anything. It's just the idea of consistently doing better, consistently coming up with ideas to make the world a better place. Like that to me is what innovation is about. And so after a while, that feeling kind of just started dwindling. And I started asking myself questions. And when Veronica starts to ask herself questions, it's not good. It's not good. You both understand. Like I see you both laughing. So
questioning what life is.
When she starts to question things, that's not good. So I wasn't exactly sad, but I was feeling less and less fulfilled as time went on. And I'm like, these two companies are already so successful. And I have this like vision as to like making the world a better place, like what you read in my bio, like making the world a better place in which I actually want to live in and be a proud citizen of. And it just wasn't happening at the two organizations, the two businesses, or the two companies. And then that's when I started going, what if, or as Stanford likes to ask the question, D-School style, how might we, and then I asked my question, like, how might I be able to contribute more positively to the world with my expertise and what I'm good at? And over again, as I was prototyping, putting sticky notes, pros and cons, I kept going, maybe I need to do my own thing. But that's fucking scary, because you have the big like management consulting firms that do what it is that I would be doing, like Deloitte, Bain, I don't know if y'all heard of them, Accenture, McKinsey. Like these are like huge businesses that do management consulting, and essentially what I do. But instead of saying management consulting, because nobody in the startup business or nonprofit world understands that, it's like I look at it through the lens of operations. And so it just kept gnawing at me over and over again until I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. And it is a new decade, because it's now 2020. I was like, maybe a new decade, new me. So then I decided to just take the leap and go, okay, I have a method that works. My approach works really well because I have the proof to prove it. Why not try it for companies, organizations, and whatnot that I actually get inspired by? And so that's why we work with a lot of mission-driven organizations, because they're here to do their little part or big part to make the world a better place. I'm not saying we only work with companies that will solve world hunger. It's like there's a difference between being able to contribute positively in a small way, like even something like making a spoon, like putting a gimbal, if you both like, you know, where you have that stabilization, putting a gimbal on a spoon so that people with Parkinson's or any type of other mobility issues be able to have dignity while eating cereal and drinking soup. Like that shit is amazing to me. Yeah. Or even being able to make sending money back to Africa easier so that they don't have to go through like Western Union or have like whatever those other companies take like chunks off as a processing fee. So our client, instead of just sending money back, he created a whole marketplace healthcare platform for people who are living in the U.S. to create or to buy healthcare insurance for their families back in Africa, so that they were taken care of. Right? So it's like things like this. This is what I'm talking about in terms of that I was missing at Apple and Nike. So I'm like, okay, let's just do it. And this is the lens that I'm going for. And I'm not saying, like, I'm telling you all this. It sounds so easy. Trust me, there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of binge eating.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, like, thoughts in the shower. Gosh, I do my best thinking in the shower, and my shower bills are often really, really high. So it's just like, but this is where I am. That's how I took the leap, was just that gnawing, that incessant gnawing just never left. And it was eating me alive, literally.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Are you a TV and movie buff? And have you seen House of Lies, which was John? Yeah, when you started talking about the management consulting thing, that is what burns into my brain. That's what management consultants are, and it can be a very evil industry. Like, yeah, not that I
And
don't
it can
also,
be.
yeah, not that I don't
Or
also
you can
read
come
what
hang out with
Deloitte,
us.
because right, exactly. Like, I read their white papers and stuff, but yeah, I always, in the back of my head, I'm like, how the fuck did they get all that information? Probably in exploitive ways,
Yeah, and to exploit somebody to get me to the next step. I literally have so much integrity. It's probably my autism talking, because people with autism have a strong sense of justice. Maybe that's why integrity is my core value. But, like, I have felt many times where when we do our job too well with our clients and they don't take action right away, I feel compelled to give them their money back. That's happened in the past. Not that I ever did it, but it's just like, my integrity will not let me not look myself in the mirror and be proud. I just can't. I get sick, literally. So that's why I have to do it my way. And I will never step on people's toes on purpose to get there, because it's not about that. It's like, there's so much competition already. And we always talk about, like, women should be more collaborative, right? And most times we are. But there's also that other side, the catty competitive behavior, where I'm just like, why are we dragging each other down? It's like, come on, you come too. Like, we can do this together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ashlan and I talk about that all the time. Like, there's so much business out there. Like, and instead of, I mean, it's like that bro-y culture, right? That's kind of like ingrained in us, and that hustle culture of, like, always looking at people as your competition. But, like, as soon as I got out of that mindset and started collaborating, like, magic started happening. That's how this podcast happened, is like, I was able to connect with Ashlan again, and like, we're able to work together on this. And then it's just like thinking about the Commonwealth that we're in, and even Feral Book Club, like, that it all happened because, we all connected there. And, it's just, that's where the magic is. And the world is big enough. There's plenty of clients. There's plenty of fish in the sea. We all do things our own way. We're all going to have clients that work for us or that don't. And, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I think that if the more we collaborate, the more successful we're going to be. And yeah, I hope that the bros never figure that out, so that we can just have our own thing.
We will slowly take over the world.
But then we'll have them think that it was their idea.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's very
also true. If we could all just take over the world sooner rather than later, that would be great, because fuck.
Co-signed.
Yeah. Oh, I'll have to send you this piece of I'll send it around to the Commonwealth. It was a really great article that I think actually Eunice had sent out through the craft workshop that I'm doing with Sam. But it was like just all of the things about, Trump, Elon, all of that. Like, yeah. Anyways, it was like a nice little tirade, teasing them for all of their shortcomings as mediocre white men. But that is not what we are here to talk about. So I will go back to our questions. So knowing what you know now, what is a piece of advice that you would go back and tell yourself when you started your business?
So there's one thing where you can tell yourself and others, like, give them advice, but then there's another thing to take your own advice. And so, and we're going to talk about my business later and the branding. I get it, but I'm going to spoiler alert that it's, maybe you should be listening to this episode with earbuds. So to tack on to that, like, Business Laid Bare, like, our brand DNA, the word that comes to mind is pleasure, through and through, like hedonistic, joyful pleasure, unapologetic pleasure. So what I wish I would have known better and been more apologetic about stepping into is being more authentic as to how I wanted to market. I came into the online business world with like the Marie Forleos, the Amy Porterfields, the Jenna Kutchers, and like, trust me, if I could have Jenna Kutcher's following and engagement, like we all know followings don't mean anything, but like the engagement, my business would skyrocket. And so I always thought that like social media needed to be where I was going to be because my business is 100% remote. However, I cannot do social media. It just like is soul sucking. It drains me. And maybe again, this is my autism speaking. And again, I also didn't get diagnosed with autism until like Q4 of 2024. So as a 35-year-old, this is like pretty recent for me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I just can't keep sending things into the void, and being creative on demand doesn't work. So to make this long story even longer, it's like, I wish I would have just been unapologetic about marketing in a way that felt true to me. And which is, I'm going to do now because I'm learning. It's like, I don't want to post on social media all the time or feel like I have to come up with content. Where I really shine is having a human to human experience, like chatting with you both or putting on workshops. So whether they are live workshops down on Zoom or in person or podcasts, like it doesn't matter. I need humans with me. I can't just, I wish I could be easy. I wish I could just be that person and be like, oh, just social media. Here's 12 weeks worth of content. It's great. I wish, but I need this. And it's validation for myself because when I did test out having a podcast, do you know how long it took me to come up with a solo episode where I was trying to script everything and do all that stuff? And then my team member was like, Veronica, I have an idea. So I listened to this true crime podcast where it's really mainly this one woman talking, and her co-host is more just like a hype woman, and she's like oohing and awing and asking some questions. Not to say that I only ooh and awe for you because, you know, you like my brain better than that, but it's just like, what happens if you had a co-host kind of thing? So instead of spending 5+ hours trying to script a podcast episode, I literally wrote 3 bullet points, had my team member on the other side of the camera, and we recorded the episode in like 45 minutes. No practice because I knew my shit. And like, it was much more efficient. So efficiency is one of my core values, but it's like, that's just like testament to being unapologetic about how you need to operate and market. So that's my advice. Oh, and then build an email list. So because my brand is like, I can get shadow banned at any time. My brand is so radical for some platforms, many platforms, that it's like, I don't want Facebook or whatever to shut me down and me not be able to market and have a business.
Absolutely.
Well, I love that you hold that value of like not self-censoring yourself too, because I do think that a lot of people would not be authentic with it because they're worried about the shadow bans and the being pulled offline as well.
I think of like maybe like the generation before us of business owners who would be like clutching their pearls and like, you shouldn't do that in the business space, or you shouldn't talk about that, or you shouldn't dye your hair, you shouldn't have tattoos, you know. And it's just like, I love that there's this new wave of entrepreneurs who are just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be myself, and if you want to work with me because of that, great, and if you don't, that's cool, I'm not for you.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm going to literally pour blood, sweat, tears, money into my business, I better love showing up almost every day. I get it. Like, you know, when you're on your period and you're feeling bloated or you're just like sick, I get it. But I'm just like, I love my business. I love what we do. I love who we serve. I love my brand. And so if there was any advice that you listeners could walk away with at the end of this episode, it's like me giving you permission to really show up unapologetically as yourself, however it is that sees fit. Because like I said, we're going to tease my brand out because I'm trying to be a tease here and we're going to foreplay this. But it's like, I'm giving you permission to show up 100% as yourself, because if I can do something like this and actually make multi 6 figures in a business, being 100% me, branding my business 100% sex, kink, and BDSM positive, lean on cute and clever more than like lewd and vulgar, you can do whatever it is you want to. So fly that freak flag, whatever that means for you, up high. Your people will find you and they will thank you for it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I'm going to clip that. Fly your freak flag. Your people will find you. I mean, it's so true. And there's a lot of things you said that I want to comment on. Like one, like that's like the biggest thing that I have to try and convince my clients of is like, be yourself. Just if you know that you're not going to post on social media, if you know that this particular way of marketing isn't going to work for you, like don't even fucking bother. I don't care if that's where things are trending right now. Like if you're not going to do it, let's find the things that actually fucking work for you. And like obviously we need to know where your audience is, but like social media is just one part of it. And then that's the other piece is it's like you have to diversify. Like for you, obviously, there's the concern of like, will social media support me, tomorrow or, in a week? But like, honestly, that's the same for everybody too, because one, there's a lot of factors that we can't control when it comes to social media. Meta owns like two of the major platforms and they're basically running the same performance now, and they're not as effective unless you pay a lot of money. And even then, so it's like, there's just so many things that we can't control when it comes to social media. But if you only have your audience in that one particular place, then if that goes away, there's literally nothing you can do to get that back. And so having multiple places and building, like you said, your email list is so fucking important. We've been talking about this in the Commonwealth too. Like it's just so fucking important because you can't rely on everything. So yeah, thanks for saying that. I love that. So my next question for you is, and then after this question, we're going to get into what we consider our hot seat questions. What is your why? Why do you do what you do every day? And you touched on this a little bit, but what is your why?
So is this my why or the business's why?
Your why. Why are you? Yeah. You could do both if you want.
So my why, I think this will be more important. Like my why, and I was having this conversation with my friend while waiting to get ice cream the other day, is like, the more I think about it, the more I want to help people show up unapologetically as themselves. Because the world needs your unique perspective. The world needs your flavor. The world needs your opinions, your skill sets. And so I used to think that my why was all about like, oh, making the world a better place or whatnot. But it's like, how can you make the world a better place if you don't even feel confident operating as yourself? There's no sustainability. There's no longevity. Yeah. So I am Chinese. I am first generation born here. My family immigrated to America because they were escaping the Vietnam War, and I have family in Cambodia, so they were dealing with the Khmer Rouge because that was a ruthless dictator. Yeah. So it's like to then be in this pole of wanting to be a good daughter. Gosh, I'm firstborn. So there's a lot of expectations as firstborn Chinese female daughter. And there was a lot of clashing and being told what to do, so many shoulds. It's basically, my life was a bunch of shoulds that was scripted by people to be the most sustainable, safe path. And I'm like, but parents and family, y'all took the biggest leap possible to come to America. Your ship freaking got boarded by pirates. And yet you're telling me to play it safe?
Mm-hmm.
But hypocrites, right? We all are hypocrites at some point because I'll just own that. I'm a walking contradiction and hypocrite sometimes without knowing it. And so it's like, that is my why. It's like, instead of showing up and just, what is it, being seen but not heard, and all the stuff that we women have, that narrative that we often have to be held to. And especially as someone who is Chinese American, it's like, no, fuck that. Like, you can change the world and do so much better if you're operating 100% as yourself. There's more ease, there's more alignment, there's more joy, there's more inspiration and empowerment. Like, why wouldn't you want that? Why would you want to be held back? It's like, the word that's coming to mind right now is like helping people embrace their sovereignty, women especially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you own yourself at the end of the day. And when you step into that power, so like this next phase of my life really is marked by 3 words: being unapologetic, hedonistic, and radiant. And I feel like radiant is not just so much for myself, but it's more for like other people. Like, how can I embody the first 2 so that I can inspire somebody else to be who they are meant to be? So that is my why at the end of the day, is helping people show up unapologetically, laid bare, like strip away like the ugly Christmas sweaters that other people have bestowed on you, you know, like your values and your shoulds and whatnot. And like, who are you when you're laid bare? I can't wait to find out.
I need you to like tell me this every single morning when I wake up. I'm just gonna like record this voice on a voice note and just
okay. I was like,
I'm just gonna play
a seductive voice for you and be like,
That's
you should actually do that as like a side hustle. Like, just do like a few record.
Oh my god, I can do that.
You could dom people into like doing what they need to in their business of like, make sure you're yourself today. Make sure when you record that stuff that you are you know. I love that.
Well, that's also so great because I feel like if you can't be unapologetically yourself, right? That's like barrier number 1, right? You're trying to mask, you're trying to show up in this way. Like, what's a good comparison for this? Like, imagine, you know, how hard it can be, like when you have to speak another language, right? That's not your own, and you have to like think so hard to have it come out. I feel like that's what it's like anytime you try to be like a you that's not you. You're trying to like, what is the word?
No, I feel this. I feel this so much.
You are code switching. You're code switching into somebody, you know, somebody totally different, and that takes up so much mental capacity, and it also detracts from your efficiency, your ability to do what you actually need to do. And then also people when they sense that you are not being yourself, it shows up in the vibe, and it shows up that like you're shady, untrustworthy, or you know, when it reaches them later, like, because I mean, a lot of times, you know, people try to be a different person when they first interact with a person because they're trying to be oppressive, or they're not trying to do that, and then once that wall comes down, they're like, oh yeah, you're kind of chill, like, and cool. I also think with age, like, I've noticed this, you know, when you like interact with old people and you're like, oh, they don't give any fucks. I think as you get older, you're like, oh my god, why?
I have learned. I understand now.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah. You're in the mid-30s. I'm almost 40. I'll be 40 at the end of the year. So like, I feel like my tolerance for anything is just like lowering, and I was like, oh, there it goes. Like, just be like, nope, don't need that. Don't need your money. Don't give a fuck. Walking away.
Look at this field of fucks that I have to give. It is barren. It is fucking barren.
Yep. Yep. So
I feel like becoming a mom has also helped that process out a bit for me. Just, I don't know if it's just because I'm not sleeping as much, or if I'm just like, whatever, but just like, you know what? I don't have the fucking patience for this. Well, and it's so true though too, like with your energy also, and like if you kind of relate it to like relationships, like I've noticed over the years as I've like put on different masks and been different people based on who I was with, I'm doing that a lot less now because I'm learning to be myself, and if you don't like that, then you know we're not going to jive. But it's taken a long time as a people pleaser and as somebody with trauma. Like, it's taken a long time to do that. And so over the years, one of the things that would kind of cue me in on like, oh, hey, maybe I'm not like jiving with this person is like when I was done hanging out with them, I would feel so fucking exhausted because I just put on this front, like, you know, I wasn't myself in front of them. Whether it was like I didn't feel safe enough to be myself in front of them, or just, you know, it just wasn't working. Like, I wasn't myself. And then that took so much energy out of me that I would go home feeling like gross. And now when I have interactions with friends, I often leave feeling really energized because I'm making those decisions now. And so when you apply that to business, like, I firmly believe that there are clients and customers that really jive with you. And then there's some that might not. And that's okay. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to get your passion from your business and what you do, like, when you are yourself, like you said, when you fly that freak flag, your people will fucking find you.
Yeah. And so my brand is so polarizing that you either immediately know I am your people, or you really get the fuck out and you run away as fast as you can. Like, you either run with, like, excited to get me a tit squishing hug, or you're just like, no, thank you. Like, I can't. Why are you using the word orgasm outside the bedroom? Like, fence sitting hurts. So when you are able to show up exactly like yourself, you can easily filter out. And yes, my brand is a little more radical in the sense of me doing this. And I didn't do this on purpose. You know, they say sex sells, right? And I have to say this for myself, otherwise I wouldn't feel good. I didn't choose to have a really sex and kink positive brand because I knew sex was going to sell. I mean, I literally do operations. It's polar opposites. The reason why this brand is the way I am is because, the way it is because there is no other way for me to do it well and to sustain that excitement, that energy, the vibrance that I bring.
Well, it's like a personality.
Clients.
It's a personality.
Yeah.
Thing. Like, it really should. Like, I know what I am getting when I sign up for Business Laid Bare. I am not getting some boring operations person with a checklist. Like, I am getting a problem solver. I'm getting somebody who's smart and intelligent because they wrote a bunch of fucking puns on their website. I'm getting somebody who I know I'm going to like to have a conversation with. Like, it also...
But somebody who actually fucking cares.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will defend the checklist till the days, like, my big three, my therapist tells me, no, I'll say this. Trust me. Like, my therapist is like, yeah, this is how you, like, solve problems for yourself. You either create a process map, a checklist, or a spreadsheet. And I'm like, yeah, those are my big three.
I love it.
So we don't dog this checklist, but I get what you're saying. Like, is it, I could give you a checklist and you know it's going to be great and fun because I have you as the center and I care about your success. Or you have someone that's kind of just like, meh, they don't really care, right? So I get what you're saying, Ashlan.
Yeah. Yes.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah. You also inspired a next blog post for me, Tori. Clients who are energy vampires / humans that are energy vampires. That's what I was like jotting down. I was like, I need to write something about that.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Share, like, I will share that out when you are done with that. Because, it's true. Like, it's so true. Well, now we're going to move to the section we like to call the hot seat question, which they're not really like, you know, like super, we ended up like just having conversations off of them. They don't have to be super quick. I don't know why we call them hot, but they're hot. They're fun. And I'm going to kick it off with the first question, which is, what is the best and or worst advice you've received in your career?
Okay. So I'll go with the worst advice because that was easier to think about. And I don't know if it's the best advice. Okay. But I'll just start with the worst. The worst was when my business mentor in college said, don't offend people. Because if you are neutral and if you are bland and perfectly just boiled and not salted or seasoned, I would be offended. I like flavor, but like, she was like, don't offend anybody. Just stay in the middle. That way you can maximize the amount of clients and customers that you are going to get. So that to me was the worst advice ever.
Yeah. I'm still and I feel like I'm still fighting that. It's like that people pleasing thing in me. Like, that was the advice given to me also by mentors, by just like all of the business people when I was first graduating and coming into the working world. And I mean, we could apply it to so many different things in life, but it's just, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and also
And
when
I
you
think,
don't differentiate, you become replaceable. If there's nothing special about you, I can go to somebody else because
Yeah.
why?
oh, that's
Like,
good.
yeah, yeah.
And it's almost like the best advice that I received. And I'm like racking my brain because it's always so much easier to go to the negatives because I've
Yeah.
received a lot of great advice. But I feel like they all centered around how do I want to show up in the world? The advice would be from different people saying various different things like, don't be afraid. So it's directly contradicting the bad advice. Don't be afraid to show up because your people need you. And if you have something that they need and you are withholding it, they're never going to get their problem solved and they're going to continue to hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, you actually want me to just show up? Like, kink toys and all? Like, here, do you need a ball gag? Because if you need to stop talking and let me talk and you need that permission, I love sending our clients gifts from like penis type dildos to like penis type sugar cookies. It's like, it's fun. So it's like, how do
That's
I
amazing.
show you that you matter from the way that I'm able to do so? And so, yeah, showing up for people was the best advice. Not from like a selfish perspective, but like, hey, what is it that you actually need? Because holding space for people is hard for me because I'm so biased for action and solutions oriented. But through therapy, I've learned.
Therapy is, it's so, I think since becoming a business owner also, like therapy has become so important. And I think also, I know Ashlan and I have talked about this before. I think becoming a business owner is also therapy in itself because you're learning so much about yourself. You have to really like look inside and be like, why am I feeling this way about this? Or why am I responding in this way? And like you have to really look at yourself and do that. But I think every entrepreneur, I think every person should have therapy because it's just so important.
Yeah, get you some tools to navigate the world. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I do love the way that all of your branding comes together and things in your business, like, that are named like the Business Whip. Can you please share with us how you decided to name the company and come up with all these fun?
They're genius. They're from like a marketing perspective, all of it
Yeah.
is just fucking incredible.
Business Laid Bare was not actually my idea. This was me rambling, my 20 plus voice messages on Voxer to my coach. Y'all know. You all know
Yeah.
those voice messages.
Totally.
She's like, so it sounds like you basically want to help people run businesses in a way that's very laid bare. And I was like, say more. So through my nonstop rambling, it was like the same, like when I first started this business, like all of this was said in such a nice and easy way to you both. That's because I've had many years of practice. But when I was first conceptualizing Business Laid Bare, I didn't know what to call it, right? But then it was like, oh, what is that manifesto? It's like helping people show up unapologetically as themselves, stripped bare of all the shit, the bullshit, the cultural shit, the values that they don't, or the narratives that they don't agree with, but they're still holding on to. What happens when you're laid bare? And so that's when she's like, well, I know you do operations, but it's not, operations isn't just a siloed thing. Operations is like your central nervous system to your body. Like one thing on your fingertips, if you have a pinched nerve, could have like referral pain on your other side of your body, right? So it's not just like one aspect of your business. It affects everything. So she's like, technically, you're helping people run businesses the way that they want to rather than the way they should, because you hear all the bro marketers say you need to have like a Facebook ad to like a funnel to like an upsell to a bump offer, you know what I mean? And so it's like, well, what if you just stopped and help them, give them permission to run business the way that they want to? So that's how Business Laid Bare showed up.
I love that.
That's great. Yeah.
I love it so much. And I loved, because like when we first joined the Commonwealth, I was looking through your stuff, and then like in preparation for this interview, like I like actually went through and like read like most of the stuff on your website, and it's genius. Honestly, if you're listening to this episode right now, I feel like you should just go to Veronica's website right now.
I'm gonna
and
send you my
just
404 page. 'Cause
ooh.
it's good.
Oh my gosh.
Well, actually, because I'm holding this mic one-handed, can someone type in, or Tori, type in businesslaidbear.com/404?
/404.
Y'all can go to my 404 page.
Okay, I'm just gonna read this out loud. Did
Oh
you
my
go
God.
in the wrong? Okay, so it's a picture of Veronica with a sad face, and it says, "Did you go in the wrong ... hole? ? Well, this is awkward. You slipped into a spot that doesn't exist. But don't worry, we're experts at finding the right entry points that'll leave you satisfied. Tell us what you're really after. Pull out and head to the homepage and see who's satisfied with success stories." Veronica, that's fucking amazing.
Thank you. I came up with that by myself. So it's like hiring a copywriter is like, this copywriter really has to, like, I wrote the entire sales page, that 404 page by myself, but like talk about hiring the right person or people to write copy for you that's subtle, that's clever and witty, and not like offensive and vulgar, right? Because it's so much easier to be the latter.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much harder to be witty and clever and cute. And that's me. I feel like I'm more cute than sexy. So yeah, things like copy, or when we started operations audits, I called them assessments because, ASS.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it works. Like, I love wordplay. And what I've learned actually is that having a really witty offering name isn't as cool as actually helping people understand what your offer is. So when we see on the website, it's actually like businesslaidbear.com/work with us, and it's like operations-audits. Because you don't know what the assessment really means, right? Until you get to the sales page. So all these things that we've named, it's just fun for me, right? This part of the alliterative nature. I love alliterations, like delegation domination is something that I haven't used yet, but I'm just like, that always is like flittering around in my brain. So for me, it's really just about what feels fun, what feels pleasurable, and we just go with it, and making sure that clients actually know what it is that we're offering.
Well, it's so consistent. It's like, so like there's no part of it that's not consistent. So I do like that, because sometimes people have like a really clever one offer that's named, and then you're just like, so what redheaded stepchild like just bloomed over here and like wasn't a part of the rest of your stuff, Sorry if we have any redheaded stepchildren. But it's like, oh, that doesn't match the rest. And so yeah, having that through line of brand consistency is just always so important.
And I love what you were saying about how your brand, like, it talks about what it talks about in a very cute and clever way, just like you. And I was also thinking, like, if any mediocre man were to try to replicate, like, take this concept that you've created and try to replicate it, like, just think about what that would look like. It would be terrible.
I am not afraid of competition, because you can rip my shit off. Like, we see this in the online space all the time. People just blatantly copy and paste your stuff. But we have established a rapport that, like, when you talk about operations and it's sex and kink related, they know it's us. They know it's Business Laid Bare. And even if we're not, like, I don't want to say I'm the only shop in the world that does this. Like, please, we need more sex positive people. We need people who are owning their sexuality and sensuality, especially women identified people. So it's like, I don't want to be the only one, but if you're going to rip me off or try, it's like, you're going to fail. And I am not worried about competition, because if I'm not the right person for you, I'm going to be the right person for somebody else. Like, you both immediately were like, Veronica, you're my person, right? Because something about my brand, something about me sparked that statement. And if I'm not, you're going to go to somebody else. So it's like, I'm not worried. And if you rip my shit off, like you're going to fail because this brand is so hard to copy unless you are living it the way that I am and embodying it.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. You're going to know, you're going to be able to read that difference of like that redheaded drop off.
Well, and just like you were saying earlier, when you're not yourself, when you're not 100% yourself, if that's not you, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Well, switching gears a little bit with this next question here, and thank you, Ashlan, for writing this note for me. You are writing a book, correct?
I am.
Do you want to talk about it?
Okay. So I've been drawn to write this book for a long time. I'm actually in the process of writing it right now. So if you wanted to follow along in my journey, you can go to businesslaidbare.com/book just to like opt in so I can like update you. But yeah, so this book has been a long time in the making, and it is actually meant to be written now. Like so much of my work, of what I'm saying, my beliefs, being the person to lead this charge to shift the paradigm in terms of how operations is not only viewed but embraced. Like people know that like operations is like boring, historically boring, foreign, icky, something you just check off, or maybe it's like, oh, I'm too small of a business for operations. Listen, the smaller you are, the more you need operations. And if you do it wrong, as you grow, your problems are just going to get magnified. You can't out-earn bad operations. You can't out-earn terrible team dynamics. You can't out-make, in terms of revenue or profit, inefficient systems. You can't.
Right.
We've seen it. We've worked with $25 million companies before who we actually had to fire because they were so fucked up and that didn't want to change because they were afraid.
Yeah.
But yet they were losing money. They were hemorrhaging money out their back end like no other. Like it's really easy for me to also go into the back end of somebody's QuickBooks and see in their operating expenses or profit if their operations are good or not. So it's both qualitative and quantitative data. So anyways, the reason why I'm saying all of this is because orgasmic operations, which is the method that I created and that Business Laid Bare is known for, needs to be out in the world more. Every single business owner, nonprofit, startup, even like large organization needs to see this as an alternative way to do operations in business better. Like, why not make running your business feel orgasmic? Like, you both love the vision and goals that you probably have. But the flip side is your operations may not feel as exciting. And your operations, at the end of the day, if you strip all the fancy words down, it's really about the how, right? How your business takes action, whether it's you as the team members, you as the CEOs and founders, your clients, your stakeholders, your automations. It's about the how. It's about the action. So if you are so damn excited about your vision and mission, and yet you don't feel so good about the thing that's supposed to bring your mission, vision to life and actualize the thing that you all started your business to do, there's a huge disconnect. So if the dream is to create a world that we all want to live in, and y'all are doing amazing shit, it's like you need good operations that not only work for you, but feel good to use, because human nature is all about doing more things that feel good. Right? Like, yes, there are masochists out there who like enjoy pain, but then pain becomes pleasure. But it's like, look, if something truly sucks, like this grinding, nonstop friction, chub rubbed, because I'm looking at my thighs, like uphill battle, you're never going to be able to actualize your mission. You're never going to be able to show up. You're going to spend so much energy, like you were saying, Tori, fighting this thing that you're then exhausted when asked to show up. So when your operations feel orgasmic, it means that we have honored who you are as people, like leveraged and amplified your strengths rather than try to help you build your weaknesses up. We make sure that your operations are aligned with the purpose, like where you're going. So there's 4 P's to the pillars of orgasmic operations. It's people and then purpose, right? Because what's the point of creating operations if it doesn't align with where you want to go? It's a waste of your time. I'd rather be having sex or napping.
Yeah.
Heard. And then the 3rd pillar is pleasure. If we have done our job right, if we have honored who you are and how you work, and then make sure it feels really good, it's it's science. Like, you do more of what feels good. We are drawn to doing things that release dopamine. And when things feel good, dopamine gets released. And then finally, to wrap this all up in a nice little bow, process is what makes the actions happen. We want to make sure that your operations are documented, are repeatable, feel good, aligned with the people. And so then when you have these 4 pillars honored in orgasmic operations, and we absolutely help our clients do that, it's actually really simple when we just get to know you as people to start with. This is where positive change happens in a very sustainable, legacy-filled way. Because then you're able to sustain the bad times. You're able to ride out the negatives because you know that deep down, this is doable. It's not a matter of if, but rather when. So this is why I'm writing the book. Now, more than ever, people need orgasmic operations to actualize their mission in the most efficient, pleasurable, and sustainable way. And so the book walks you through the 4 pillars, because there's so much more to this because I'm not going to write a thick-ass Harry Potter book, but it's going to be something short and digestible, because it's like the teaser to, hey, I'm here to inspire and give you that mindset shift. Because if I just drive operations down your throat, you know, like religion is, it's like, be proud of it. Like, it's like a dick, right? Be proud of it, but like, don't shove it down my throat if I didn't ask.
Yeah.
It's like, if I just keep driving operations into you and you're already hating it, you're never going to want to actually do it. I want to inspire you to actually do it. So by helping you get inspired and excited about operations, that puts you in a process-driven mindset. And we can actually help you there, because trying to convince people that you need marketing or need operations or whatnot, that's an exhausting job. We've done that in sales calls. Like, we don't want to work with people we have to actually convince that hard. There's plenty of more noble people to do that. It's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I used to. So long story long, this is why I'm writing the book. And it needs to be in everybody's hands. And it's going to be done this year.
Yay.
I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, and I feel like, you know, since we kind of the point of the podcast is to inspire new businesses to start. Getting your operations right from the beginning will make it so much easier. Like, and being able, you know, like, knowing that you're going to eventually hire more people, knowing that you know, when you start a business, you are the CEO, the chief everything officer. Eventually, you will not be that person. Nope. You know, you'll have to hand things off. And it is much easier if you have a fucking SOP to hand off to somebody than it is like to either do it for them every single time, to have a Zoom call to walk through it. Like, Loom videos are my friend. I'm just like, here, this is how you can do it. Like, it takes time to implement, but once it's there, it's there. You could just send it.
Oh, this is a great point. So I'm even going to backtrack that. It's not even for other people. Like, when you start a business,
it's for you too.
Most people don't really have a co-founder. Like, in the startup world, it's more common. But I started my business solo. I don't know if you both started your businesses solo. Okay, we're all nodding. So I also have ADHD. My brain is not reliable, but through years of being driven to succeed from external, like, Asian factors, and even self-driven stuff, it's like I had to create systems and processes to deal. So my brain, I already know, is naturally not reliable. So when I'm creating these SOPs, these documentations, these checklists, it's more so for myself before it's for anybody else. Like, my favorite documentation piece to this day is that, and I'm not asking you all to be perfect or to create this perfectly shotted SOP. It's like, literally a 6-bulleted checklist with nothing else. And I titled it Pricing Changes. Meaning, anytime I want to update my pricing, charge more for my services, here are the 6 places I need to update that price. And it's all just 6 apps: Dubsado, Calendly, website, yada, 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 yada. Because then it is cohesive. I'm not going to remember where they are. And imagine if somebody came to your website going, oh, yeah, so you only charged $20 for this, and now you charge like $2,000 for this. There's going to be a big disconnect, and you're going to have to figure out how to get them to trust you. So When I say create SOPs or documentation, it's really about creating information that will actually help you as the founder first. So if you're going to take the leap, you're going to be spinning so many plates. You're going to have so many irons and so many fires, and you're going to be spinning your wheels. And you're also going to be super inspired and not want to sleep, because I know what it's like to start a new thing.
Yeah.
So all of that, I want you to focus all of your energy on that inspiration, right? And that only can happen if you can document, keep things organized. And if the easiest thing you can do is to create SOPs or checklists or even bulleted points for yourself, that is going to be such a huge win when your business takes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I love that.
And
Yeah.
also, she has a 50 SOPs to create off the bat.
Yes.
Freebie that we will put.
But okay, how about this? I don't know how to be a tease, really. So instead of the 50 plus SOP ideas, like spend $37 and you'll get the Essential Business Operations Starter Toolkit, which has like how to create SOPs, 100 plus SOP ideas, like what operations is. There's like a training. So I'll just send you the link. Actually, you both have the link.
We have
but
it.
Let me just say, like, sure, that could be a free PDF, but like for $37, you can actually have like pretty much almost a mini e-course. And this is the content that I wish my clients would have known before coming to work with us. So I'm giving you all a head start for $37. Would have known before. So that's my selling proposition.
Perfect. No, I'm glad you said that. I do have it. That actually perfectly lines up my next question, because you have lots of different parts and pieces to your business model. You have the business whip, you have the operations audits, the day pass, fractional COO services, and operations advisory. Can you share with us like how you built these, how you arrived there? I'm sure on day one you weren't like, cool, here's the 5 things.
I mean, I enjoy how thorough you all are. Like, I love being interrogated. Fear play. Well, okay. Anyways, let me get back. So here's the thing about your offer. You both are primarily service-based, right? So we can have this conversation. Okay, you're both nodding. When it comes to creating an offer for any business, whether you're doing like a membership box or you're selling products like CPG or you're a nonprofit, it's like you always have mainly the one thing that you're selling. It doesn't matter if it's like the one thing you stick with forever. For me, what did I do best? Relationships, client work, things that I know how to do is what I started Business Laid Bare with. So we started with operations audits. We started with one thing. And before we branched off to the next thing, I made sure that every single process and the important systems was documented. Basically, I systematized the fuck out of the offer, because I've had clients come to me where they're like, I have 10 offers, I have a membership site, I sell this digital product, I sell this course, but nothing was operationalized, meaning there were no systems involved. When somebody joined their membership community, if they remembered to send the welcome email, they would send it. And then if they remembered to add them to Slack, they would do it, but maybe before the week was over. Like, what kind of customer service is that, right?
Yeah.
So when you go take the leap and create your offer, and even if you're listening to this podcast and you already have a business, it's like take your one offer or multiple offers and choose one to start with and operationalize as much as you can. Like, how does the selling process work? How does onboarding work? How does saying goodbye work? How does making sure they get your e-course work? So I'm thinking of it as like a sun or like a flower with petals. It's like you have your sales processes, you have your onboarding processes, you have your testimonials, you have your offboarding. So it's like, go through and account for, maybe I'll add this to the toolkit in the future, because this is an important piece. So I'm making a note for myself. Like, how do you make sure your offer is systematized? So to answer your question again, before I even jumped into doing other things for other people, I made sure that how we audited operations was tight, so that my team could do it without me. If I was sick, if I was on vacation, or if I had to go take care of my dog. That's what we did. And then we slowly added one thing after another. You don't just keep adding offers because you think it's going to be good. The more offers you have and the fewer that are systematized, again, this whole like you're just juggling a whole bunch of things, waiting for glass balls to break. So when you operationalize each offer and you kind of fuck up a little bit, it's like a rubber ball. It'll bounce back. It's okay. Your clients won't feel betrayed or whatever negative. Yeah, jaded. That's the great word. But when they do, that's when it becomes glass and it breaks.
Yeah.
So one thing at a time, everybody.
Yeah.
So yes, all those offers happened one at a
One
time.
at a time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which makes sense. Yeah. You can't do it all from the beginning. Well, I'm going to take a total left turn on this last question here. And we're asking everybody this because we're making a playlist. So, what is a song or album that has been on repeat in your world?
Lately, it has been the song Drive by Incubus.
Oh,
It's a 90s song.
That's
I
Or
love that
even,
song.
I even have Jimmy Eat World. It's like the middle. But like Drive seems to be really apt for me right now.
I like it.
So I'm contributing
Little
that
throwback.
song. Yeah.
I was
like
going to
it a lot.
say,
Okay.
The Middle is great too by Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah.
I love it.
But for,
Also
but
throwback, yeah.
it's really resonant because it's like, look, if you're going to start a business, you are driving this ship.
All the time.
Yeah. And so how can you make driving easier? Operations, because you want to make sure that you can, your engine of your car, I use a lot of analogies, can actually reliably take you there too. So make sure that whatever car you're driving for your business, it actually is reliable and you trust it. And it's like vacation proof so that if you need to take a break, you're not the bottleneck, all that fun stuff. Even if you are solo, you don't have to be the bottleneck if you are solo. That's a big thing that people don't have a hard time understanding. Like, yeah, I can take a vacation as a solo entrepreneur and my clients will be okay.
Yeah.
And talk about this all day long. So you too can do it.
Yeah. You gave me another inspiration. Cruise control your operations.
There you go. I'm so glad that I feel like these conversations like help me out so much because then I'm like, what should I write about this week? Like, what content should I create? I'm like, oh, well, we just had this conversation a little bit ago. So, yeah, the podcast helps with that for sure. Well, Veronica, we have been so happy to have you on. This has been like an amazing conversation. And before we wrap up, I just want to ask, is there anything that you want to cover that we haven't covered yet? Is there anything you want to share with our listeners? Yeah.
So we're talking about orgasmic operations, right? And people are talking about, well, how do we make operations work? It's so complex. It feels so corporate-y. Let me just tell you this advice. What do humans understand really well? What feels good and what doesn't feel good? So we're going to bring a little S&M to this, like pain and pleasure as your guides. I have met so many founders that tell me operations are not my strong suit. I hate operations. I don't know enough about them. I'm a marketer, all that stuff. Great, that's fine. But you are a founder, so you actually have responsibilities that require you to wear multiple hats at this time. So the best advice I can give to you is to think about what feels good and what doesn't feel good. Like, for instance, if your sales process or how you bring on clients or customers doesn't feel good, use that as like a jumping off point to be like, okay, why doesn't it feel good? Is it because everything is so manual? Or is it because there's too many steps involved when I can actually do this in 2 steps instead of 10? So think of your operations from a point of pleasure, pain and pleasure, so that you can get away from what sucks, because it's going to give you insight into how it could be made better. And if you don't know how it could be made better because it's not your strong suit, but at least you know what doesn't feel good, this is where we can come in and help you. It's so much easier to understand where you want to go. I mean, like, we can help you figure out the pain too, but oftentimes it's really easy for people to know what feels bad.
Mm-hmm.
We can then say, oh, you don't want to have a sales process where you jump on a call because you are like 3 months postpartum, and even though you're converting really highly, you just don't feel good, and you have kids running in the background, you don't feel confident because the house is a mess. It's like, we can maybe switch that to an application-based experience, right? Or something. I have plenty of ideas. I have plenty of opinions and suggestions, but it all stems from what doesn't feel good. So use pain and pleasure as your guides. That's how easy operations is. That's really how easy and accessible it is. So don't make it more than it really needs to be in corporate.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Talking with you is a joy and a pleasure, and we're so happy that we could have you on. Thank you so much. We have had everybody, I think we've had most people in the Commonwealth on the podcast, or we're planning to have them on the podcast. And I have a feeling we're going to have y'all back too. Like we like to go into like deeper conversations, and I feel like we could talk to you for just hours. So we'll definitely have you back for
Thank
sure.
you so much. I can't wait to be back. Clearly talking is so hard for me.
Well, thank you so much for being on. And listeners, thank you for tuning in today. I hope that you have enjoyed our conversation here. And to find your information about Veronica, just head on over to the show notes. All of the links will be over there. And if you have any questions or suggestions for other guests, feel free to shoot us a DM or email us. And until next time, thanks so much for tuning in. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Take the Leap podcast. We hope you found useful takeaways you can apply to your entrepreneurial journey. Subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and keep in touch and follow us on Instagram. If you have business questions, shoot us a direct message or leave us a comment. We'll try to cover it in an upcoming episode. And visit our website, taketheleap-today.com, for more resources like our online course that accompanies this podcast.